Mom. Beautiful. Welcome, everyone. Alchemy and Oracles, your weekly moment of inner alchemy where you can take some time for yourself each week to tune yourself, to harmonize your life force and your chi flow, to maintain your vibrational health and well-being. To elevate your consciousness and light to that next level. We're always expanding, we're always growing. And the sound supports you in that, in this beautiful, fluid, and effortless way, with its own medicine and potency. Working on someone's chest and shoulder area here. It's coming through, whoever this is for. There we go. Yeah, so if this is you and you're having pain in the front of your shoulder or the chest or that area, it goes all the way back to the scapula. There's this pattern that you're carrying of not believing in yourself. We all carry that in one shade or another. But we're believing in the aspect of self that we are not that anyway. We just think we are. And so when we're not that, we let ourselves down when that's not who we were in the first place. So one of the reasons I became a Montessori teacher all those years ago is because I wanted the children to grow up not having to get to this point in their life where they had to look back and do all the work at that point. I wanted them to be able to maintain their magic and know how magical they were at an early age, so they wouldn't have to go through this process of unlearning as they got older. That was one of the inspirations for me being a Montessori teacher, because I felt that was the environment for that to happen in. Because those of us who are here know that a lot of the work that we do is in healing these inner child and these early childhood patterns. There we go. So what if we could, step in at the right time, at the right place in a child's life, so they wouldn't so they wouldn't have to navigate life with those scars to their psyche and their body mind, right? I mean, things will always happen as we grow up. I understand that. But when provided the right environment, it's not going to stick with them as it would if someone that didn't have the tools or the environment or the nurturing for them to harmonize that in an early age. It's the same thing for me with acupuncture. When you come in before surgery or after surgery, let's say you injure yourself and you come in right away, the chances are of that trauma, of that experience, not staying in your field for a long time to cause problems down the road. We can get it early on. So early intervention, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So what happens is those distortions or disruptions in your vitality and your life force, whether the trauma happened in your body or your mind or your emotions or whatever level that is at, it gets harmonized quickly. So the repercussions of that over a long period of time will not ever come to pass. That's the beauty of battlefield acupuncture or acupuncture without borders, where there's whole protocols to help people with trauma, because it's not the event in itself, it's the experience and the way that you perceive the event that causes the distortion in your field. And so many people are really being thrown off center and misaligned. And the beauty of it is that those that hold the higher vibrations, that hold the alignment, that anchor in that light and hold these higher vibrations, will shift all of those around them. They entrain to you, they sync to you. Just like the sounds are doing, these healing frequencies are causing the vibration of your body to resonate with it, which helps foster and healing. And there we go. Okay. So, the reason I say this is many. One, that's what I was seeing, and that's what was coming up with the sounds. And I've also seen people, most of the work that I do are dealing with patterns that are in play, that the inception was, many, many years ago. There was a man coming in, I remember when I was doing clinic in graduate school, and he was having chronic sinus issues. And I remember he was laying face down on the table, and I could see this kind of red glow over his low back. And when I asked him what happened to him in his back, he had an injury, I think he had a motorcycle accident like years prior. And because of the way the body is a holographic image, and it mirrors and reflects itself in different aspects, that trauma and impact affected his sinuses, and that blockage referred all the way up to his head. And so you could be treating the sinuses, till your face turns blue, and you might get some results, but not enough, because you're not dealing with the root of the issue, which was this trauma of this motorcycle accident. So this is what's happening to us all the time. It's like these little tiny things, some bigger things, but all of these little micro traumas that are happening to the field that happened, years ago are what we're experiencing today. And we might not necessarily track it to that, because in our mind, in our conscious mind, we've moved past that. But in your energetic self, it still holds on like a record to all of these experiences and all of your memories, even before this lifetime, even in other lifetimes, even in other dimensions. Okay, even through your ancestral patterns, even in your karmic patterns. We are multidimensional beings. So the root of what you're experiencing now is discomfort or dissonance in your field can stem from any of these areas, right? Some you might be aware of, some you might not. But when we use vibrational tools such as sound, which is one of the many that I use, we can access that no matter where it's in the field, because it's a vibration that you're carrying. So we want to harmonize that vibration so it can restore its flow. It's just stuck energy. It's just not moving. Okay. And so what the sound does is it helps foster that movement again. And it gently, it's like rushing water, right? It's going to eventually flow through this area and release the blockage. So let's go into the drawing. Let me know what resonated with you with that discussion. If you could relate to anything there. Okay, let's see we already started reading the sound waves. Really, sound bubbles is what I've learned. They're not waves at all. They actually are spheres of information. Okay, so what do we have for us today? Confusion. It's like there's a inner tension happening. There's something you want, but then you're not able to do anything about it. Like there's no movement or energy supporting you in this desire, in this idea that you have. So you're kind of just in one place. You're stuck in one place. You're not moving anywhere. And I hear marching. I hear marching, like a lot of people marching. It could be military, it could be army. I hear people marching. Oh, okay. They're not military. It's just a bunch of people marching together, but they all are kind of almost like zombies, automatons. They're just of one mind, almost like the Borg, I guess. You see a face in there? Oh yeah, I see it too. You know, they're just marching in unison, and so there's no individuality of being expressed in this group of people marching by. They think they're being unique, but they're really not, because they're so programmed by whatever the consciousness that's in there is that they don't even see the others are marching to the same tune as them. Oh, nice to see you. Hello, hello. Let me know who's here. They don't always show me your names unless you give StreamYard permission. So I do see your comments, but I don't see who's commenting. And I would love to know who I'm talking to. Okay. And so what's happening is there's this kind of, you know, expansion where you're talking about light and energy expanding and consciousness expanding, and you can feel that tension and pressure within you. And we are entering spring, so we're coming up onto this time where we're going to have this upsurgence of energy and vitality moving through us, right? All that stillness that happened during winter, and that energy, that potential that was there gathering and gathering and gathering, even though that was still. Now it's going to think of a seedling turning into a sprout, and how much energy that takes for that to happen. A lot. And that's happening within you. And it could throw there's a possibility here that energy, if your container isn't operating optimally, your divine vehicle, your body mind isn't structured in a effective, efficient way, that can throw you off. Or you can channel that energy properly. Okay, so what this energy is, and how does this relate to the horde of people that were walking by, marching in unison, that were of one mind and one thought, that really didn't have that individual expression that each of them were designed to have. It was just latent. You have that. You feel that within you. You feel that calling to break free from that unison, that unified self into the one. So there's a difference of operating in a homogenized way as opposed to operating in an individuated way as an extension of the one. So those people are operating in accordance with who they are not, and you are operating in accordance with who you are, based on your unique expression, your geometry, your crystalline structure, your body, mind, your design, all of that beautiful stuff that you are, has the ability to take you to wherever it is you want to go. And you might have been feeling it for a long time, and then maybe you set it aside, but you're feeling it again, and you're feeling that calling, and that's your heart speaking to you. Yes, I got out into the sun. Can you see? Yeah, you need to get out into the sun and hug some trees. I was out in the sun before the session. I go out several times a day to recharge. And now when I do it, I actually feel like this stream of information, even more so, that's coming through in the light from the plasma and from the sun and from our central sun and our galactic sun. I sit there and I really just allow myself to tune into the unique information that's encoded as we move through time, our perception of time through each day, as the planets are moving, et cetera, and how that's informing my being, because we are connected to this in an inseparable way. Okay, so how to be yourself, how to live an authentic life, how to not be one of the masses, how to shine your unique light and bring forth your gifts and let your heart's music sing. You know, a lot of times it actually is an acoustic thing for me, where I absolutely hear people when I'm working with them, and I hear when things are aligned and when things aren't. And every one of us has a unique note that's only like you. So if you, oh, Danny, hey, Danny. So, you know, you have your own music, and every part of nature has its own music, and it's so beautiful to think, to listen to like the symphony of life, and that your music, there's nothing like it. So just think about, like, if you're familiar with your astrology chart or human design body graph or your Vedic profile, whatever it is you're using as a map to understand your particular design, that's an imprint that happened the moment you were born. Okay, that's your music of the spheres. Where were the planets when you were born? All of that has sound, and that it creates your unique music. Okay, that being said, let's move on to the sounds they're wanting to come in. Let me know what you see in the drawing. Someone saw a face. Yeah, you marched to your own drummer. Exactly. So how to be your authentic self. Let's see what the sounds have to say for us today. Closing your eyes. Allowing your outer sight to turn inwards. Allowing your senses that are normally tuned in to the world around you, allow them just to come inwards and tune into the world within you. Beautiful. Someone saw a yin yang. Absolutely. It's integral to our life here on Earth in this duality matrix. Allowing your senses to come inwards even more, bringing them into that focal point in the center of the heart. Inhaling and allowing yourself to receive yourself even more. Receive yourself. That inhale allows those senses to come inwards even more to the center of your heart space. It's Michaela. Hi, Michaela. Beautiful. Now from here, just see or notice or perceive or feel the rhythm of your heart. Maybe you might notice it actually beating within your chest. Notice its rhythm, its life-giving energy and force, its power. There we go. Beautiful. Stay tuned to that rhythm of your heart, its own music, its own movement. There you go. That was a big shift right there. Now notice how the heart is moving. As the heart is beating within your physical body, it's actually creating a vortex, an electromagnetic field. See if you can sense how that energy is moving within you and around you. Does it feel balanced or not? Just check in with yourself. Check in with yourself. Does it feel balanced? If it does, great. We'll just continue to amplify that. If it doesn't, we're going to continue on. We're going to bring it back into balance. Beautiful. Now bring your attention to the lower belly. You can put both hands there. We're going to allow the breath to come all the way into the lower belly. The breath's going to bring the belly's going to bring the breath in all the way down into itself. And what that's going to do, it's going to bring that life force down from the heart into the physical body. There you go. Actually using that lower energy, the lower heaven, that lower energy to bring that breath in. This is going to help harmonize that heart field. There we go. So the breath and the belly. Belly inhale, pulls the breath in through the nose, down into itself. There's no effort here. There you go. And then the belly's going to exhale the breath gently out through the mouth. Beautiful. Already notice how your body feels with just that shift in awareness and breath. We were talking earlier about having the container structured in a way where you can be an optimal conduit to this life force and this individual expression of this life force, so you can operate from your authentic self. So when we do that, we want that energy to flow through the body unimpeded, without any distortion. There you go. Beautiful. Now you made the connection. Can you feel that? The connection was just made. Notice how you feel from here. This is going to give you some information and feedback to what that connection feels like for you in your body. Right? So just notice how that feels. Maybe your spine straightened out. Maybe you feel heavier in your body. Maybe you feel more relaxed. Whatever it is, just notice that. Beautiful. Now put one hand over the heart and the other on the lower belly, and just allow the body to breathe you naturally until both hands rise and fall at the same time. So you've already made the connection. So it won't be very long until that synchrony between the two hands rising and falling together happens. There you go. Notice how the mind's wanting to get involved in making it happen. Let's just set the mind aside and allow the breath to do what it does best. There you go. It knows how to breathe you. What happens is our breath becomes shortened and all this stuff when our mind is overactive and gets in the way. And the conditioning of the mind is like that horde of people that we talked about at the beginning walking by. The homogenized non-self person, or the Borg, if you like Star Trek. Okay, so that's what's programming the mind, but the body has its own intelligence, and when we connect with the breath in such a simple way, we activate the body's intelligence, and that's where you're going to learn to navigate from. There you go. And you might notice the mind come back in, and that's fine, then just set it aside again. You have that complete ability to direct your mind to where you want it to be, and let's just set it aside. And there we go, and reorient to the hands rising and falling together. Beautiful. Now we're activated and allowed more movement to happen. So notice what happened here in your body so you can connect with it for yourself as a reference. Yes, and you're even starting to lighten up. I actually can see you glowing now. So notice how you feel from here. Beautiful. From this state of light, of emanating light, of your aura, let's bring our awareness back to the heart again. And now listen to your heart and feel your heart and see how it feels from this place. Yeah, there's a lot less resistance, right? And your thoughts have calmed down. The noise has quieted down. And your body might feel more fluid and flexible. I can feel even in my arm that's holding the bowl, it feels lighter than it did. It's not straining like it was. Notice the breath and how easy it comes into the body and how effortlessly it leaves the body. It's just this beautiful exchange of the inner and outer world through the breath, coming and going through you. There you go. And see if you can hear the music of your own heart. If you were to tone that, if you were to make a sound, what would that be? I remember when I was in sound school, the Globe Institute, led by David Gibson and many other amazing teachers like Stephen Halpern and Randy Masters, Suzanne Sterling. So I had the fortune to study with such amazing sound pioneers. And we were tuning into our home note. And I was sitting in the front of the room, and everybody tuned in and they began to hum and they began to tone. And they all started toning the same tone. And then David Gibson, he found it right on the keyboard. So my home note is B flat. And then he created a special track for me using that B flat frequency, which was really quite a magical experience. But for now, you can feel into your own music. You don't need to be surrounded by a classroom of people, but you know what your heart sounds like. So take a moment, and once you hear her music, let it out. Give it voice. What does it sound like? Beautiful. Yes. As you guys are toning your heart's music, I can see the fountain of light coming out through the crown, which looks beautiful, creating a beautiful toroidal field around you. And everything's come back into balance. And allow this to carry this with you throughout your day. And notice what happens. It doesn't take long to get into this coherent state of the heart. So when we organize our heart field, we're living our authentic music. There's no distortion between what we're broadcasting into the world and what we're receiving. A lot of times there's a distortion, and it's based on the conditioning and the programming of the mind. So when we set the mind aside, we drop into the body's intelligence through the breath, through toning, through sound, through movement, whatever tools you use in your daily life. This will make it easier for you to navigate life with a lot more ease and grace, and to know what is true for you and give you the power to act on your own inner authority, rather than walking in unison with these people that we saw at the beginning in the drawing, right? So I invite you to do that today and every day. Navigate from that place of the body's intelligence and see what it wants to do. So when you go to make a decision today, we're making them all the time, check in with yourself. Is this my mind? Am I thinking this? Am I doing this habitually? Or am I getting the natural impulse and go ahead from my body? What is my body telling me to do? Is it directing me in a certain way? Are my feet pointing in one direction and my head in another? You know, that happens with a lot of us. We're not aligned in that way. So follow your feet, follow your belly, follow your breath, follow your heart, and see what happens as you go about your day. Commit to this for, the next week until we meet again, and see what happens if you really just turn over the navigational tools to your body's intelligence. And we really focus on that in March's activation. That's going to be up tomorrow. I just finished editing and putting that together for you yesterday. And you can go into that a lot more deeply. Oh, I'm so glad you do. Thank you for being here, Facebook user. Thank you. I'm so glad you love these sessions. I love doing them with you. And So March's activation, March is actually going to be a really full month. So I do hope you join me for this month. We have another sonic acupuncture session coming up on March 9th through Double the Love Foundation, which is my nonprofit that is here to offer affordable sonic and holistic care for those in need. It is sliding scale. Everyone is welcome. It was such a success last month when I launched the online community clinic. So I do hope you'll join us for the next one. And if you can't make it live, there will be a replay for a limited time. Some people had profound shifts just watching the replay alone. I know my father had severe back pain, and he's pretty much pain-free since the session, which is wonderful. I had another participant who showed up for the session thinking she was going to come in to de-stress, and her knee pain went away. I know my mom was grounded. There was another client who felt balanced. She felt her body was, one side was heavier than the other. She felt balanced at the end. Someone had a beautiful experience of a lot of color and light. So everybody receives exactly what they need from the session. It is different from these weekly sessions. So I do hope you, thanks, Mom. Yeah, thanks. So the link to register will be in the description, and do share it. All goes to a good cause. Everything that you donate as your contribution goes to the nonprofit, which helps clients who can't afford to work with me, and it's funded a lot of really beautiful people to help them transform their lead into gold, and also supports me in offering you these resources every week and every month. So you have multitude of opportunities to shine brightly. And yeah, so we have the sonic acupuncture, we have the monthly activation, and more to come. We also have Michaela who's here. Michaela is from Berlin, and she's a relaxation trainer and coach. She will be offering her gifts to you at the end of March, also for Double the Love. So there are many beautiful practitioners who will be joining us each month to offer their gifts to keep you aligned, vibrant, healthy, tuned, and offer you the healing that you need. So with that, thank you, dear ones, for coming together with me to harmonize the nature of oneself. And I look forward to seeing you same time, same place, live next Tuesday, or in the ethers, or in sonic acupuncture. And see you at the clinic. Blessings, everyone.